Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models, and this is the Big Daddy from Bioshock in wood from IncrediBuilds. Now one of my subscribers on YouTube, Hardwire, suggested that I build one of these. I didn't know such a thing existed. I have obviously done the R2 units that were sent to me very kindly, but this one I paid for myself, and I'm going to build and paint up a bit, and we'll see how it looks. I mean, the paint, it's not a proper model kit, as it were, so it's always going to look a little bit ropey because it's only flat sides of wood. But I'm sure we can do something with it to make it look good. So we'll see what we do. I'll open the packet and we'll see what's inside. I'm expecting, so it says something about a poster, as well as obviously the wood and instruction guide type thing. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Other thing there. That's all of it. Right. So yes, we have a poster. Not huge, but atmospheric. That's good. I'll find somewhere to put that up. So yeah, very nice. Right, in the paperwork we have obviously a instruction manual thing for what you can get. They do Star Wars, Harry Potter, Disney, Pixar, Marvel, DC, 2K, Blizzard, Star Trek, DreamWorks, and many more. So yes, there are obviously other Star Wars ones available. Death Star, Falcon, BB-8, Resistance, Bomber. That's an interesting choice. Harry Potter, that's quite interesting. Sorting Hat and Hogwarts Crest. That's quite interesting. In the other side we have the Flash, Ant-Man, Infinity Gauntlet, Big Daddy, there we go. Something from Overwatch, Pacific Rim, Star Trek, Stackables, I don't know what they are, dinosaurs and things, and some interesting variety. So yeah, there's the R2 that I've obviously already done. Let's have a look. The building instructions for Big Daddy. Before you start, make a plan. Yeah, right, like that ever happens. For this project, assemble the model before you paint. So, before you build it. Yeah, okay. We'll worry about that later. We'll start the building process and see. Oh, right, it's a big fold-out instruction manual to make it nice and easy to see what's going on. We have a piece of cardboard, which is always interesting, and the sheet, which looks like probably two pieces of wood. Let's have a look and see. Now, the wooden stuff I've been building on my live streams on Wednesdays now, the Wooden Wednesday, the wood is heavier duty than this. This is somewhat lightweight. Obviously it's a smaller kit, it's not got any stresses and strains in it. So yeah, we have two sprues. So not terribly difficult, won't take very long to build that. And then we'll worry about the painting and things. So yeah, I shall start at the beginning with number one. Find pieces 1 and 2. Now these, have they got numbers on them? Yes, they have numbers on the wood next to the piece by the looks of it, which is quite a good way of doing it. Not very clear, you probably can't really see those, but you've got, for instance, 21 just written there. But just about. There is some shading on a couple of the bits, so obviously you can leave it without any paint at all. Right, I mean, most of this is going to be me looking for parts because they're not in any particular order. You got 102, 103, 99, 98, 97, 101, 102. So yeah, what I shall do is I'll build a few bits. Actually, I'll get the first few bits off and then show you exactly what we're doing. I think it starts... No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. We'll start at number 3. Tells you just to pop out the bits. So we want 1, 2 and 3. And that's what they look like. So it gives you a better idea of what you're after. Is that it? No, that's 7. By the looks of it. So... yeah, it definitely says 7 next to that. But that says 7 next to that as well. I think we might not be able to rely on the part numbers, although that's definitely 2 and 3, and that do look like what it should be. So we'll just pop those out. Sometimes these might need a little bit of sanding, so I've got a sanding stick just to get rid of the little nub pieces, because they'll always fit together better when they're not a little bit too wide. So that's that. Right, it definitely says it should be 1, but it definitely looks like that. And as that says 7, I think that 07 in the corner doesn't actually mean so. Oh, it's got a little 1 just faintly on there. It's got an 07 in the corner of that piece as well. So this must be like kit number 7. So yeah, that is piece 1, and 2 other bits have just fallen out as well. So we'll put those to one side and remember where they are. Right, this has got a little tension piece in the middle there. Let's just see, a couple of nubs. These are laser cut, so when they make them, it's all perfectly smooth except for the couple of little bits that they don't cut out completely. So these pop on the ends, just like that. It's not difficult. These don't need to be glued together. They are just a push fit, so they go on quite securely like that. I'll continue on with several more pieces. It does look like the numbers just go up, so if you use 1, 2 and 3, these are 4 and 5. So all you've got to do is keep counting up the numbers. But yeah, I'm not going to film obviously the construction of all of this. I'll drop in and out as time goes by, just to show you any interesting pieces or bits that I have trouble with. But nobody needs a 4-hour long video of just building and then painting to do as well. So these bits obviously have a little tongue that sticks down through there. So I'll build a few more bits and then come back to you. Well, that's stage 11 completed. It's starting to take shape and not really look like anything yet. Obviously this is the main head bit, but yeah, it's got these pre-printed pieces that are sort of like the armour. So I'll do a couple more stages on camera just to keep things interesting. 16 and 17 are the 2 little round pieces. So once again, get them off, sand off the nubs, there you go, and they go onto the ends of those. How far they go? Quite all the way on, so all the way down to there, and then the smaller ones, 18 and 19, go onto the ends of those. After, of course, the traditional sanding, nub removal. Obviously not going to bother sanding all the way around all of them. They're not moving working parts or anything, so it doesn't matter. It just makes it look a little bit nicer if it hasn't got the blob on the end. So that's that. Let's get a couple of big bits on. 20 and 21. Well, there's another piece falling off of there. 20 and 21 are 2 halves of a circle. Get rid of the bits. Okay, right, so they're the same and can be either way up. They go top and bottom on this, making the face basically, I think. Now this has got a little nodule in the middle there, so you have to push over that by the looks of it, push through that. Makes it a nice, very tight fit on there. And that creates a full circle around the back there. Right, once again, I'll build a few pieces and then come back and show you some more. So the head itself has been done. Now we're putting the little eye pieces onto the front. So we're just continuing on with some more of those. Until you get the head round completed, it doesn't look like anything. But as soon as you pop say the first couple of eyepieces on there, it all just sort of comes through and just starts to sort of come together, and you think, oh yeah, that's what it, yeah, that's what it is. Now these have got an angularity to them, so let's put them the right way around. I didn't pay attention when I took them off the wood. So the ones at the front are a bit more straight, and the ones behind have got more angle to them. That seems to be how it looks on the thing. So I've got another 4 of those to put on, and then we'll start building something else. That's all of his eyes done, and other bits on the face. Then it says to put that aside for now and start with 2 more pieces. We've got 38 and 39. 39 goes upside down on the back there, like that. Then we need 40 and 41, which I believe should be following down here, yep. 41 and 40. Trying to just take off the pieces that I need without breaking off the other ones. So, making sure I get them the right way round as well, because these bits are actually shaped. So this is the one that needs to go next to the one that I've just put on. Get rid of all the bits from the sides. So there is one side that's slightly shorter than the other, slightly narrower. It looks like it's that way around, I think. I could be wrong. That goes together like that and looks like it builds up around there. Then there's the other 2 of the same piece. There we go. Sandy. While I've got the sanding stick, might as well do the other one as well. Okay, so that goes on the front there. And that one curling over that way goes like that. Then we need another piece, 44. I've moved on to the second sprue now as well, so that's 45 I can see there. 44 is there. Going to need 45 in the next stage as well, so while I've got that located and in hand, we'll remove that, as soon as it is the hand as well, so you know, it makes sense. A little bit of tidy up. One there, and just down there. Okay, so 45 goes in that way round with that way round. That goes through a little bit further. Yep, there we go. Nah, not like that. I just cracked that a little bit. It's definitely got to go in there, so there we go, that's better. Always push from the thickest bit. And then the hand, that way round, goes down there and all the way up, so we've got the arm and the hand. Right, again, I've probably got to do that again the other side, so we'll catch up with you in a moment. Well, there was actually a bit more to do on this one. We've got the 2 side pieces, and we've put each individual finger on as well, and a thumb underneath. Then we get to attach that to the kit itself, so I thought I'd show you that bit. Push it part way into the slot, then push down when the notch lines up with the slot. So obviously, yes, you've got to get it onto there. So it goes on there, and then downwards. A little bit of wiggle. Yeah, there you go. And that lines up nicely on the front there as well. So yeah, that's that. The other arm is a little bit different. It starts off exactly the same, but then we've got the whole drill thing to put on instead of fingers. So easier in fact, but yeah, then there's extra bits go either. I'll show you that bit. I'll get to that bit and then I'll come back to you. I have prepared. I've got the bits ready and put them on the little pictures, so I can build the next bit relatively quickly. So these go exactly the same as they did on the other arm that I realised I didn't show you. So quite nicely cut out to fill the gap. So when you put them on, it just looks like it's a solid piece without miraculously going through it. So it's quite clever. That one goes on down there, which basically holds it all together. Stops bits from sliding too far and finishes off the arm quite nicely. Then we have other half of drill on there like that. These go either side there. Yep. Nice. Then basically we've got three things that do exactly the same as they did further up the arm. The nicely cut shaped pieces that look like the drill is passing through a solid piece of metal or wood, but you know what I mean. Right, these are not quite straight, they have to be at an angle. I didn't notice that with that one. Or is that one? That one is straight and that one isn't. Okay, because it's a screw thread sort of drill that it's manufacturing, or making it look like it is. So these go like that. Although, should they not be joined up? Not sure that that's quite right. Let's take that one off as well. The plus point to not gluing any of this together is you can, yeah, it is at an angle, but not completely. I think I didn't have it quite fully in. There we go, that's better. So, then the bigger ones, there's the smaller ones, that's the bigger one. So, make sure you get the angle right. Look at it from the side rather than from the top. There we go. So if you get them lined up properly, they do just about line up with each other and looks like a screw thread. It doesn't, but yeah, it sort of does. And then that arm locates exactly the same way as the other one. Goes through a bit and then down fully to lock that in place. So then we have both arms done. It looks like we'll work on the legs next, so I'll get a few of those built because it's not, you know, not rocket science, all of this. It's just slotting bits together again with bits going in. So I'll get a few more stages done. The legs are coming together, the little armour pieces and things. Two more bits to attach to the sort of toes, and then I can put the feet in place. Let's get those popped underneath. Where do they go? They go under the toes. Just like that, with the wider bits to the outside. Just about there. Then we have big feet. Getting foot shaped, so it's got to go in foot shaped. Just like that. And other foot. Much the same, but the opposite way round. On there. Like that. Now the tolerances are very good on these. The fit is very secure. You don't need to worry about gluing at all or anything like that. So there we have the legs. Yep, that's that. And then we attach the body to it. Again, just a simple push fit. Just like that. And there we have the main Big Daddy himself completed. He stands up, but if I stand him up you can only see him from the top. So that's that. Next up we're doing some fine bits with the cage sort of thing. 96, 97, 98. So 96 is the big bit. Obviously when you're taking these off of the wood, you need to be especially careful because wood isn't known for its flexible properties when it doesn't bend very well. So if you don't get it off smoothly, it will cause a problem. And also, if you are sanding or doing anything like that, don't try holding that end and sanding that end, because you're asking for trouble. Always hold it next to the part you actually have to sand. Although it was just the one nub on there, so that looks okay. So that was that one. 97, 98, the next two up there. Same sort of thing, but not quite so much worry. But you do want to make sure you get these the right way round. So I'm only going to take one off. And trying not to get it caught in there. There we go. That's the one little nub around there. That's it. And that one goes, let's see, we've got that way round. It goes on the top there. And again, obviously when you're pushing them together, push from where you actually need them to go together, not anywhere else along. So that makes that like that. A couple more bits to put on there, and then we'll attach it to the head, I should think. So see you in a moment. So that's that constructed. They do not quite line up right. The middle one seems longer. If it was in the other places, it would be worse. So I'm sure that is okay. It just needs a little bit of sort of bending in and out and around and stuff. It's down as far as it goes. It's in properly, but there we go. Now, it does say when you're attaching this, you may need to bend it slightly. I think they're talking about like that. So let's get the first bit down in the front first. It's in there. That's in, but not going any further. I'll leave it there. I don't want to push it too much. And that's almost exactly lined up anyway, so that's okay. Didn't need to worry about that. That goes on there and matches that curve. Let's just check this piece. It's going into a, not really a hole there, but that's as far in as it goes. And those bits are quite secured over there anyway, so I'm not worried about those. So that's his helmet type armour on. Next up is a bit of backpack, and then the yeah, all the backpack actually, by the looks of it. A little bit of cage to go over the back, and then the backpack. So the cage is exactly the same as I've just done there, but different shape. Then the backpack. Right, I made a little error and broke a bit. It sort of cracked a little bit as I was pushing it in and on. One side was fine, the other side I think my finger just pushed that more than it should have and pushed the other bit. But luckily they do supply you with 2 extra pieces, and one of them is the one I need. The other one's one of the front pieces. So conveniently I can use the bit that I broke and be more careful putting it on this time. Try and support from the sides rather than even accidentally pushing the wrong bit together. Yeah, so that's better like that. And that goes onto his back, onto there at that angle. So yeah, they sort of join up like shoulder sort of pieces. So that's that. So a problem, but easily solved problem. I didn't need the extra bit of that. There's a couple of other pieces on here that seem to be extra as well. Oh no, there you go. 100. I missed a bit. That's why that doesn't go all the way down, because it needs that one in front of it. I missed that piece there. So let's sand that and pop that in place as well. And I think that empties that sprue apart from that one extra piece. So pop that back out from there. Slide the ring on there first. There we go. And then that looks like that fits together better. Yeah, that's nicer. Right, always check the instructions and make sure. And make sure you haven't got any bits left over that you think you might need. So there's one bit left over, but I've not broken it. So I'll keep that to one side just in case. And then it looks like we're back to the first sprue for some finishing bits. That's the broken bit. I can get rid of that. Never see that again. Right, next up we are building the backpack with the oxygen tank and gun, spare gun? Yeah, spare gun and oxygen tank. It's all stuff that we've done before, so I'm going to build that off camera and then see about assembling it for the final bit. And we've got the backpack built now. The flamethrower gun type thing, and the tank. It might be fuel tank for the gun, might be an oxygen tank. I don't know. I don't think the game's ever really put it through. Now this last piece puts on and then hooks down. So it goes on and should. There we go. Just down. So there we have the completed Big Daddy. All in all, I enjoyed the build. It was good. It didn't take very long, but yeah, it was ended up being 100 and how many parts? 117 parts apparently. So yes, you can leave it like that, which looks fine. It's definitely a wooden model. It's not a problem. Or you can paint it. So I'm gonna paint it. I shall be using the sort of paint instructions that they supply in one of the pictures. There you go. So basically mainly green for the arms and legs and sort of brassy for the other bits. They've done a little extra bit, red on there, silver on the back. So I'll be using a similar sort of thing, and we'll see how it looks at the end of that. I don't think it needs to be primed. It says start by painting all of the green on the model. Next paint all of the brass sections with a metallic paint. Once that paint dries, go over the brass sections. With a dry brush, using very light diluted brown paint to give it a grimy feel. We'll see about some weathering, yeah. Light grey, silver sections, yeah, same about base coat and stuff. So yes. If you want to finish there, that's built and done. If you want to see some more painting, keep watching. I'm going to keep it in the same video. I'm not going to bother doing it, splitting it over two. So I'll be basically following instructions there, but I'll show you what I'm doing anyway. So see you in a minute when we get some paint on the model. So after building comes painting. I'm going to basically duplicate what they've got on there. I played the games, I remember the games, I remember the characters, I don't remember the colours of them and everything else, so I'm assuming it looks about right. It's green arms and legs, brown hands and feet, and silvery drill and highlighted bits in sort of brass and silver, obviously red on the tank, and then weathered. So I'm going to start doing the arms and legs in green. I'm going to use mainly Citadel paints because it's just easy to brush them on, and I have a good selection of colours to hand. So I'm using a dark green wild flesh for the arms and legs. So just going to give the paint a good shake up, and then we'll see. Now normally with Citadel paints you would apply them with very thin paints. You'd thin it down with a little bit of water and put on a couple of thin coats. Two thin coats is the tradition. But because this is going on unprimed wood, I'm not sure how it's going to work. So I'm just going to go with the original. Now you can, and it does indeed suggest shading. So sort of darker at the edges and lighter in highlights and things. Which I might bring in some shading and highlights later. But to begin with, I'm just going to get some colour down. So yeah, basically these sections are going to be done in green. The vertical, or rather the horizontal bits, will be done in chrome, although it looks like that bottom one's green, and that looks right. So let's do that one in green as well then. I'm obviously not going to film the entire process because that would just be very boring. So just to give you the idea of how it's going to work, I'm just going to do this section of leg completely, and then the rest of it. So I'll do, as I did with the build, I'll do bits of it on camera and bits of it off camera, just so you can see what it's going to sort of look like. So getting the edges as well, it's all going to go a bit like that. So I'll do the arms and legs, and then when I start on a different colour, I'll show you how it looks so far. I found it much easier if I took the legs off. I was going to take the arms off as well, but they didn't come off as easily, so I left them alone. But I've been able to get into most of the bits. Done the arms there, and obviously all the legs there. Next up, I'm going to use some of this, what is it, Doombull Brown, for the hands and the feet. I'll get them painted up, and then we'll start doing some metallics. There we have the one hand. The other hand hasn't got a hand. It's all drill bit, so that's going to be all steel metallic. The feet done there. So next up, I'm going to do the bit inside the main body in sort of brassy gold. I've got a couple of brass, but they're a bit too brass. I've got a couple of golds. I'm thinking, I don't know, that seems a bit too gold for Tributor armour. This Auric armour gold is a bit more yellow. The brassy ones I've got are a bit too dark, like bronzy rather than brassy. So yeah, I'm going to try this. Brass Scorpion's the other one, but again it's a bit too dark. So this is more yellowy. So I'm going to get this done with that. I might use the other gold to do the highlight bits around the edges, where, so this, the lighter, brighter edging pieces. But for now, I'm going to see how this looks. Start off on the whole front panel there. Being this is a metallic, it behaves a little bit differently. It's a little bit more sort of transparent, but I think that will work. I won't know for sure until we get all of it done. Now the framework across the top is going to be silver, according to the little picture there, which works quite well. So this is going to be the interior mainly. So I'm going to get inside the headpiece. The eyes themselves, or the reflective spots that look like eyes, are going to be in a brighter yellow, more sort of headlight type colour. And hopefully I can still see the lines through this. I might not even have to go over them very much, but we'll see. Again, I'm not going to bother filming me painting all of this, because I'm sure you've all seen people paint things before. If I've done one bit, then it's much the same as the rest of it that I'm doing as well. So I'll cut the camera now and come back with the next step. And the gold done. Not been overly neat about it because it's going to be weathered over the top anyway, but I think I've got all the bits I need to get. The other bits I'll do in silver once the gold's dry. I need to do the buckles, the rings on the arms and the legs as well, and the bit around the edge of the foot as well on the underside. So yeah, I'll leave that to dry so I can get the bits in between. Then I'll need to come back in it anyway. There's a couple of bits that I missed and caught the green, so I'll have to go over the green again, and I'll no doubt have to go over the gold again once I've done the silver to get the joins, so they should be more finished, and the eyes, and then that should be about done, ready for a little bit of weathering. As you can see, I've gone ahead and painted the base of some of the metallics, all the gold finished. I've disassembled it somewhat because it's a lot easier to try and paint things. For instance, I couldn't get to the inside of that while it was together, so I've taken it apart and now I can get to the inside. You can't see the inside very well, but at certain angles obviously you can, so it's not a problem to pop it out and just paint the inside as well. Make sure you haven't missed any bits. So I'm doing that. I've also, as you may have noticed, taken the backpack off. So I've painted that in the gold. That will go back on in a moment. I've also got off the two bits from the gun, the flamethrower gun and the air tank, which I'll be painting separately and then reinstalling, just because it's much more convenient. The main benefit of not having to glue the kit together is that you can very easily get it apart if you need to. So I'm just going to continue touching up, painting the insides of these. I'll leave this off obviously to make sure it dries properly, but that'll also make painting the eyes much easier So yeah, I'll get some more painting done and then come back and show you pretty much the assembly. Now I'm going to do the eyes in a nice bright green, and I'm just going to cover the entire front of all of it. I will go in after this is dried and get the surround where it was sort of painted onto the wood done up again. I'm going to do those as well. I'm not sure if they are meant to be coloured, but it looks right to me. So obviously the bigger ones have got the edge bit to tidy up, the smaller ones won't, but so once again it's just another stage that I'm showing you a bit of. You don't need to watch me paint absolutely everything. So I say I'll tidy up the outsides in a silver as well, and then it'll almost be time to start putting all the bits back together. As I say, weathering is the next stage, so that'll be the interesting bit. So I'll see you soon. So there we have him painted and assembled. There's a few little touches here and there. I've put the gold on the joins, where it's like a brassy sort of thing. Different coloured gold to the normal one. I've also done a little bit of touching on the highlights where it was, I say, painted already. I've used the more gold colour rather than the yellowy gold colour on those. A little bit of detail here and there, say the red on the thing, a little bit of pipe work on the flamethrowery thing. Just the touches here and there. I've done a little bit of dry brushing and shading on some of the green to lighten up some of the edges and darken some of the shadows, so it just looks a little bit more sort of rounded, shall we say? That's probably the best term. The eyes obviously now have their green glow to them with the gold surrounds. Not the neatest paint job, but I say it's never going to look like a perfect kit because it's all made out of wood. So that's that. You could leave it like that, but it meant to be old and knackered and weathered. So I shall be coming in with some weathering using the shades. It's again different to what you would normally use for weathering, but I'm not sure what I can actually get away with it being, say, wood. So I've got some green shade, so I'm gonna use just a little bit of it across pretty much all of the gold bodywork, and it hopefully will just sort of shade it down a bit and tarnish it a little bit, just to sort of age it a touch. The problem with using, sorry, I need to attach that properly as well. The problem with using anything that's too thick as a paint is that it's just going to go into the grain of the wood and make it look horrible. It'll just make it look like you've painted the wood, which is what we're doing, but I'm trying to get it a little bit patchy so it sort of gathers in corners, again without using too much. It's quite a fine line between the amount of paint you need to use to get it where you want it to go and getting it to look horrible. Now, because I've gone for a slightly green colour, it doesn't matter if I get it on the green as well, because it's not really going to show up a great deal on that. So I can go into, say, the armpits and things like that as well. I do have a couple of other shades. I've got the sort of brownie and the traditional dark non-oil shade as well. So basically I'm just going to get some shades on it and then see about maybe brush painting in some more obvious rusty spots. So I'll see you in a moment with that done. And that will be how I'm going to leave him. It's obviously not a perfect job, but the build's good and fun, and a quick paint job makes it look more realistic than it did before, which is all I'm really aiming for. It's a good kit, it's not expensive, it's easy to put together, and I say with a a few basic colours, you can make it look better, but you know, it is what it is. So thank you for suggesting it, and thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. If you want to pick one up, then I say they're available worldwide through Amazon generally. Other shops do obviously have them as well. If you build one, let me know. Put a link in the comments. Join the Gross group and show me pictures of your builds and works. The link is in the description below as well. So thank you all for watching. I shall see you soon for more of similar things and different things as well. Keep an eye on the live streams as well. I do what I call Wooden Wednesdays. Every Wednesday I do a live stream building a wooden kit. There's one I'm working on at the moment, but different ones will come up from time to time. So like and subscribe, keep an eye on the channel, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.